My name is Jared Bozan. I'm the Chief Development Officer here at the New England Center for Children. We're here today to celebrate our ribbon cutting of the new John and Diane Kim Autism Institute.
My name is Rich Martin. I'm the Director of Social Services here at the New England Center for Children, and I've been with NECC for just about 35 years.
It's a great new facility. It's 33,000 square feet. We'll be housing our research, our graduate education classes, and also our executive office building.
The building will allow us to relocate some administrative space, and the building has some research rooms for work with our students, and some space that will allow us to house our in-house master's programs. So it's really going to open up some doors for us. The big excitement is, as we relocate some of the space, we are going to develop downstairs in the school building some significant student activity space. And there'll be space for music, leisure, expanded vocational opportunities, library area. So it's going to really real area for enrichment for the kids. It's terrific.
We've also had an incredible amount of fantastic people who supported this project. Raised over $10.9 million, many from incredible families of NECC, local friends, local community members, businesses.
Our presence in Southborough has really been welcomed by the community. We have a great relationship with the Southborough Public Safety Department. They've been really spectacular. Great working relationship. We have a walk we sponsor every year that's right downtown in Southborough, and the town has always been very hospitable, so we really appreciate that.
I'm a resident of Southborough, Massachusetts myself. I actually have a son on the autism spectrum, and what this building does for us as a family, it's amazing. We have the ACE software system, which supports my son in the Southborough Public Schools and supports many other schools around the area. It's an incredible project of many different groups and people coming together. Thank you all for coming. We have a beautiful day here in October, and we're very lucky to have such great weather. My name is Jared Bozan. I'm the Chief Development Officer here at the New England Center for Children. And I'd like to welcome up our CEO and President and Founder, Vincent Strelli.
Thanks, Jared, and thanks to all of you for joining us today. Can you hear me in the back, everyone? Dennis? Yeah, great. Awesome, thanks. First of all, welcome. I want to start by thanking all of our generous donors, members of the campaign steering committee, and especially John and Diane Kim. Thank you. We're very pleased that some members of our legislature, the Massachusetts legislature, are here to celebrate with us today. The Massachusetts State Legislature for 40 years has been extremely supportive of the work that we do at the New England Center for Children. They've enabled us to grow and advance the lives of the kids we serve and many children beyond. So I'm really pleased that and want to welcome State Senator Jamie Eldridge, who comes from this area, representing Middlesex and Worcester District, and he'll be followed by State Representative Carolyn Dykema from the 8th Middlesex District. Please welcome Senator Eldridge.
Great. Well, thank you, Vincent, and I want to congratulate you and your team for another special celebration today with the opening of the John and Diane Kim Autism Institute. It's a beautiful building. It's going to serve so many more children that are on the autism spectrum throughout not only Massachusetts, but of course, as we know, throughout the nation and actually the globe. The New England Center for Children is a establishment that is known globally for its leadership on helping children who are suffering from autism. I want to also congratulate Governor Dukakis, and I was here for the opening of the Aquatic Center that has Governor Dukakis and Kitty Dukakis' name under it just a few years ago. So it really is amazing, Governor, to you and to John Kim for your contributions in raising all these funds privately. I just want to highlight that this capital is going to build a state-of-the-art student activity center, including an art room, music room, computer lab, student library, and school store. So you're going to see even more services provided to children through the money that's been raised that we're celebrating today. I just want to say, as someone who represents Southborough, I'm extremely proud that NECC is in Southborough. As Vincent had mentioned, the legislature has been very supportive in a number of ways in supporting the Institute, and certainly more and more of us up on Beacon Hill are recognizing we need to do more to address those that have autism. So congratulations to all the donors. Thank you all to the donors. And it is now my pleasure to introduce Representative Carolyn Dykema, who also represents Southborough. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator, and thank you, Vincent, for this wonderful opportunity to be here today and recognize this beautiful, beautiful new building. How remarkable, and I really think it truly captures the essence of the wonderful work that happens inside this building. And it wasn't that long ago, I was here with Congresswoman Clark, and Wade Blackman is here from her staff today, and we had the opportunity to do a walkthrough and, most importantly, to meet with the student government here at the center. And what a remarkable group of young people. And they really were the face of the really outstanding work that goes on here, of all the people that work here, and of the fantastic training programs that go on in this building as well. And I know that part of what happens in this building is that many people learn the wonderful, wonderful approaches that are so effective with the young people here. And those teachers then go off into the world and truly take a piece of this program with them and expand the ability of the good work to happen, as the Senator mentioned, all over the globe, which is really an outstanding thing to be a part of. And so glad that the legislature's had such a history of support for the important work that goes on here. I also want to recognize the center for being such a great community neighbor. Here in Southborough, I know that the center has such a great reputation. I know there are a number of selectmen here, Selectman Shea, Selectman Semino, I think Selectman Rooney is here as well. I think the fact that we've got such a tremendous outpouring from the community here is really just a testament to the great work. So I want to thank everyone involved with this wonderful building and for the invitation to be here. Also would like to recognize three of my colleagues who are here, Representative Kim Ferguson, Representative Danielle Gregoire, and Representative Chris Walsh. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Carolyn and Jamie, for your kind words. I really appreciate it. And your support, most importantly, in the legislature. We also want to note that the executive director of the Massachusetts Autism Commission, upon which I sit, Carolyn Kane, is here today, and she's been very active and supportive. So she's a parent of a daughter with on the spectrum, and she really has been a tremendous advocate for autism and for our efforts here, and a strong supporter, and it's been great working with her. The executive director of Autism speaks in Boston. Russ Ken is here, and I wanted to note that also from Congresswoman Catherine Clark's staff is Wade Blackman. She's been a great supporter of the center since she took office. And of course, our good friends from Southborough, we work really closely with this community. We rely on them in a number of ways. Their EMTs, their police, their fire. They've been great to us, and it's always been our pleasure to support the town. The center generously contributes far more than it has to the supporting of the town, and I always remind them of that, and we really, and I know they appreciate it, and we do too. But we helped help them acquire a new fire truck that was badly needed, and hey, it's in our interest because those folks are highly professional and they help us out all the time. It's been a great town to be in and to work with. Listen, a campaign like this could never have been completed without a large community of donors and friends. I'm always aware, however, that their support for our mission is due to the incredible work of our staff. Our teachers, facility staff, specialists, directors, and executives do an amazing job every day working to improve the lives of the children we serve. And something we did not expect 40 years ago is that today their work is helping children with autism literally around the world. Buildings like this, dedicated exclusively to autism treatment and research, are few and far between anywhere else. And I think you'll agree when we go in that it is beautiful and practical. And certainly this is one of the great accomplishments of my career, because the education and research and technology that's going to come from here in the years to come, that's facilitated by these facilities that are state of the art for our staff, for graduate education, just a place for them to sit and chill and lots of great space for them to do research, are things we've always lacked. And I firmly believe that the technology that we are creating here, and that the staffs that are now comfortably housed here, who are consulting to hundreds and hundreds of kids around the world, is going to be something that people will look back on in many years from now as a place where people started to turn the corner in terms of what can be done for and with the millions of children around the world who are facing autism now and their parents. And I certainly dream that it will become a source of hope for those families who struggle, in many cases alone, with this problem globally. I also today want to specifically recognize Roseanne Lovely, who has served at NECC for 35 years, the last 20 as our Chief Development Officer. Together, we raised close to $30 million. We shared countless dinners with donors and supporters, hours and hours of planning and preparation. I have a feeling that sometimes I spent more time with her during the week than her husband, Ray. But, and they've been really gracious in their support and their donation of so much of Roseanne's time. And we raised a tremendous amount of money, and we had a lot of fun doing it. And that is something that I will always cherish and respect. To work this closely with someone that you really like has always been a gift. It's been my good fortune to have her as a colleague, and we would both say that the hard work of 2 capital campaigns was made easier by our community of donors and friends and staff who are here and beyond. And it's always great. It's always been great to share a dinner and be with them. And that's been one of the unexpected pleasures of fundraising. I've had some great times with some really generous people, and they're a lot of fun. They're really interesting and engaged, and they're really phenomenal people, and hearing their stories and being with them and getting to know them more closely has been really worth it. And they're highly dedicated to their own children and the children that we serve throughout the program and elsewhere. And I'm grateful that Roseanne will stay on as a member of the board of directors and as executive advisor to us, at least for the next few years. She'll be missed, but her successor, Jared Bozan, who you just met, is very well qualified to build on her legacy and is off to a terrific start. I want now to introduce former Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis, who's been vital to the success of NECC for all of our 41 years. It was his administration, the first Dukakis administration, that gave NECC a $30,000 grant in 1975 when we first to start the program. And the second Dukakis administration enabled us to grow into a much larger and more substantial program by enabling us to borrow $23 million in tax-exempt bonds at a time when repayment was really not a possibility. When those those were what we have come to know as junk bonds. It might have been bonds like that weren't nearly as good that caused the whole crisis in 2008. But those bonds turned out to be an incredibly wise and successful investment, and really helped us tremendously. He became an active member of the board of directors after leaving public office, and the governor has co-chaired 2 capital campaigns. The Michael S. Dukakis Aquatic Center, and now the John and Diane Kim Autism Institute. The combination of John and Diane Kim and Governor Dukakis was unstoppable. I'm deeply grateful for their support. It's a pleasure to welcome Governor Dukakis, who will be followed by John. Governor.
Vinny was not supposed to say that we didn't know how those bonds were going to be paid back. I mean, that was part of the deal. It's such a pleasure, folks, for Kitty and me to be here. I've said this before, and I don't want to get too political, but after all, we're in the middle of a kind of crazy political race here. And one of these candidates for the presidency keeps talking about taking us back to the days when America was great. Well, let me tell you something. When it came to working with and caring for and seeking to improve the lives of kids with severe disabilities, I'm sorry, this country was not so great. And this state was not so great. And I'm not going to repeat my experience at the Fernald School in 1965. But let me tell you something. It was appalling. It was appalling. And I don't know, this little $30,000 grant to Vinny and some of his colleagues who had this idea about a different way to approach some of these concerns. And then the bonds, tax-free, low interest, and they were paid back. But look at this, folks. I mean, we have come miles, and we're going to go even more miles in reaching out to these youngsters and their families, and to do the extraordinary things that this place has been doing and continues to do, and that this institute will continue to make possible. And you know, despite all of the political noise, this is what America is all about. This is what this country is all about. You know, John and I represent the immigrant tradition. We're very proud of that. I hope you are. Because without people like my parents and John, Diane, their parents, Kitty's grandparents, a lot of these things wouldn't be happening, folks. And I think most Americans understand that. I hope they do. But what John and Diane have done, and others from that tradition are doing every day, is something else that makes America really great. And we're so proud of you, proud of your families, and proud of the contribution that they have made to this country and will continue to make. But this is extraordinary. And I just want to say, in asking them to come up and share your thanks and your warmth, that we are so grateful to you, and to so many like you who've come to this country, made extraordinary contributions, and are now making it possible for hundreds, thousands of youngsters and their families to help build a wonderful life for themselves and their futures in a way that was inconceivable, folks, 40, 50 years ago. Utterly inconceivable. Without further ado, John and Diane.
Governor, thank you so much for those generous comments. Importantly, we'd like to thank the governor for going back to 1975. His 40-plus years of direct and indirect service to this unbelievable institution. Governor, thank you very much again. Diane and I would like to thank all of the important participants. They're all of you, but beginning with Senator Elridge and Representative Dykma, all of the many donors who made this dream a reality, the friends and families of NECC, and importantly, the NECC staff. we were thinking about what we should really say to make a note, an exclamation mark about this historic moment. It was so easy for us. We actually went to the NECC website that introduces this remarkable institution. Some of you, many of you have read the introduction to this organization. If I may repeat, the New England Center for Children has 40 years of experience helping children with autism. Started in 1975 with assistance from Governor Dukakis, with only $30,000 from the Massachusetts Department of Mental Health. It has grown to be one of the most respected autism institutes, not in America, but in the world. Today, NECC is the global leader in providing effective, evidence-based educational services to children with autism. We rely on the science of applied behavior analysis to help children with autism reach their greatest potential. When you reflect upon that opening statement and introduction to this institution, it is impossible from our perspective to not acknowledge where we are today without acknowledging our founder and visionary CEO, Vinnie Strelli. Thank you very much, Vinnie. Pretty nice building, isn't it? We still can't get over how the building was built on time and on budget. That's quite remarkable, and we have a lot of people to thank, but our CFO and extraordinaire executive, Michael Downey, gets a lot of credit for that. Thank you, Michael. We love new buildings, don't we? But we must say, the real beauty of this is not the building, it's not the bricks and mortar, rather the true builders and keepers of this institution. The 1,200 teachers, administrators, and staff who support nearly 650 students and serve 4,200 students through our ACE program. In 2012, that number was not 4,200, it was 800. In 4 short years, we have gone from 800 to 4,200. We are not talking about statistics, we are talking about 4,200 students, children, whose lives will be dramatically improved and impacted by the great work of this institution. We are in our 41st year. 59 years from now, we will be celebrating the centennial of this institution. And this new building that you see today, I humbly predict, will likely be in need of a major renovation. However, we hope and expect that this new facility will allow the many generations of NECC leaders and teachers to continue the excellence that you have achieved already. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John and Diane. And thank all of you for celebrating this landmark moment in our 41-year history of the New England Center for Children. The significance of this building for families who have children with autism, especially my own, means that our work is not finished. We will continue to treat, educate, and learn from the students we serve. We will continue to refine our methods and our autism curriculum encyclopedia. We will continue to train the next generation of special education teachers and clinicians, and we'll continue to share our research far and wide. We have very important areas of growth at NECC that we look forward to building on, all of us together. Now I'd like to invite John, Diane, Vinnie, and Governor Dukakis and Mrs. Dukakis for our ribbon cutting ceremony hosted by our New England Center students who will be holding our ribbon. And after we cut the ribbon, we'd like to invite all of you to the second floor for a nice reception and also to see the building. So I asked for Vinnie, John, Diane, Governor, and Mrs. Dukakis to come up and ceremonially cut the ribbon, and everybody like to get up and come on over and see this.
These are quite the scissors. I hope it'll do the job.
Your 81st birthday speech.
All right, are we ready to formally open the building? And I want to again thank our co-chairs, John and Diane and Michael Dukakis, and we greatly appreciate all your support. It's a great moment, I think, for the future of the center, for kids with autism everywhere. Thank you all.